What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Move Better channel. I'm your host, Dr. Joe, and this is John Pena-Serrata talking about how we could fix your foot pain. So plantar fasciitis is when you have inflammation of the fascial structures of the bottom of the foot. You're going to feel some inflammation, you're going to feel some pain, some tightness. Sometimes people feel it down at the bottom of the heel here. Sometimes they feel it at the front part of their foot here. But overall, it's around this arch area. Now, there could be a variety of things that could be contributing to plantar fasciitis, including posterior tibial tendinitis, which is the muscle that runs along here. And then it attaches to this part of the arch right over here. It could be stemming from Achilles tendinitis and affecting the back of the heel all the way through to the arch of the foot. So remember, plantar fasciitis is more fascial restrictions and pain at the arch of the foot. So we're going to try to get to the bottom of that today. We're going to try to figure out ways that we can release tension in that area, decrease pain, and hopefully get rid of plantar fasciitis altogether. So without further ado, let's get started. Utilizing a lacrosse ball or softball, or in Shasky's case, he's going to be using a baseball because he's a coach. One of the things that you guys can do is grab that ball, place it right on along the floor, and we're going to do some self-massage. So at this point right now, we are unloaded. We're sitting down. We're going to place that pressure right along the mid part of the foot, right along the base of the heel, and I'm going to find a tender spot. Once I find that tender spot, I don't have to roll it anymore. Imagine you getting a foot massage. And if you're getting a foot massage, you don't want somebody just kind of rubbing their hand along the arch of your foot too fast or too quickly. You want to find that one spot, leave pressure on there. And it feels pretty good to know that, oh my God, that feels good. You want to leave it on that area for a while. And then very, very slowly, just kind of put pressure and move away. Now, this shouldn't feel too painful. Some tenderness should be okay, but it shouldn't be painful. So it shouldn't be unbearable to the point where you're like, oh my God, it hurts so bad. Right. You want to just keep that pressure on there and leave it on there for about 60 seconds or so, and then find another spot. So we're basically smashing, according to what Kelly Starrett says, we smash the foot and find the most restrictive or tender areas of the bottom of the foot. So we're going to go from a seated position to a standing position. And as we're standing, again, this is for people who are a little bit more advanced and they don't have as much pain there. We're just, again, trying to find that one spot of the toe of the foot, and we're trying to find that one area. And once we find that one area, we're just going to leave pressure on it. And our goal here is to try to relax your toes. So if you're at a standing position already and you're leaving the pressure on, we're just trying to apply a little bit more compression along the areas that are feeling pain. All right, so the next one we're going to do is you're going to get into working above the ankle. Because remember, as I said, the muscle belly, a lot of the muscle bellies that we have in the foot are on that control the ankle are going to be in the gastroc right over here. So what we want to do is we want to foam roll. We want to put pressure along the soleus, the lower half of the lower leg. We want to put pressure into there. If that's not enough pressure as he's pushing down, as you're pushing down, he's going to cross the other leg over, keep pressure into that, and from here, instead of rolling up and down, he's just going to go side to side, and he's just kind of smashing that. And as he's going side to side, now he's going to try to glide his butt forward as he's doing his foam rolling. Now, another thing that he can do is he can, as he's already keeping pressure here, unlock this foot. Now, you can keep pressure of that foot, but you can also dorsiflex and point your toe as you go up and down. So that way you're just trying to get the tissues, the fascia, and the skin to kind of glide over each other and push to try to release tension off of the plantar fascia that goes all the way through to the bottom of the foot. The next one we're going to do is we're going to get our foot. Now, the fascia of the foot is controlled by multiple joints, right? And so we want to, if we're starting to collapse our arch over here, we want to get all the tissues kind of massaged out. Now, you can do a self-massage by grabbing your thumbs and just going onto the arch of the foot right here, and you're just going to be gliding your foot, gliding it down. So this is going to be the abductor of the bigger toe. And so the big toe is supposed to go out this way. It's supposed to flex down. It's supposed to come up. And what we want to do first is just kind of influence the tissues there by gliding my thumbs down that part of the toe. And as you can see, that big toe is starting to flex downward. And I'm going to go all the way into the big toe and almost feel that stretch. And you can see my skin on the foot, it's starting to stretch out right over here. So as I bring my toe and I squeeze it across, you can start to feel that stretch across as well.
Nice.
I'm going to grab that big toe and I'm just going to pull it all the way up. And now you're going to really see that fascia start to come out. And so as that fascia is out, I can do this. I can grab my other thumb and I can just start to push along it. And we're just trying to get and pump the blood flow and that inflammation out of the area. If I'm pushing too hard and I'm creating too much pain, I can actually increase inflammation. That's the reason why it's even better for you to do more of a self-massage, because if you're doing the self-massage, you're not, nobody out there is going to be pushing too hard for you, and you can kind of control your the pain threshold within the foot. Okay, so now I'm going to try to stretch my toe. I'm going to try to grab it, push it up, try to see that plantar fascia. I'm going to try to grab my big toe and my middle toes here, and I'm going to try to spread them apart to work on stretching that out. I'm going to grab the big toe again, and I'm going to push it downward, and I'm going to work on stretching the top part of my toe. And then I'm going to pull it away again, and then I'm going to squeeze it inward. As I squeeze it across, I'm stretching this part of my toe. Then we're going to get nice and deep like. Put your fingers in between your toes, spread them apart, work on almost toe spreaders, and I'm just kind of digging my toes, my fingers in between there, and I'm trying to separate all the muscles that hold my feet and toes together, because when they're in that shoe, they kind of compress my toe, my feet, and it just holds it too tight. So I want to try to open up my toes. Now, you could do this while watching a game. You could do this while watching TV, hanging out at home, and you could just literally just try to do some self-care for yourself without spending thousands of dollars and trying to get this fixed. So spread those toes apart. Now you're going to pull your toes down. I'm going to work on each individual toe, working on them together, spreading them out and pulling them up, working on stretching that plantar fascia again. Cool? So now we have different ways that you can do it doing some self-care with it. And then lastly, we want to do some exercises in a loaded position, because we got to get the tib, we got to get the ankle, and we got to get the foot to kind of work together in order to get rid of this pain altogether. So we've got to teach it some exercises. So what we're going to do, the next one, he's using a box here to help himself out, but you can just do this on the ground if you can just kneel down. But if you have a table, if you have a chair, you could do this also. All he's going to do is drive his knee forward. He's loading his foot, all the joints in the foot, and at the same time, he's working on an external rotation of the knee, where, notice, right when he does that, look at the joints here, look at the bones here. They start to work on activating, and they start to roll. And as he's rolling, he's tightening up that arch. Let's go ahead and try the other side. So same side, now you're gonna look at the arch, okay? As he's driving his knee forward, he's pushing his knee to the outside. Look at that arch come up, right? He's keeping the ball of the foot down, he's keeping his heel down, he's retraining his foot movement, and as he's retraining his foot movement, he's starting to develop that arch right in this area. That helps with decompression of that fascia, right? So the more we have a flat foot, the more that fascia is going to be starting to be stretched out. We want to tighten it up. And as we tighten it up, we're just pushing that knee across to the side, and that fascia does what it's supposed to be doing, which is helping create an arch and bring the front part of the toes back towards the heel. That's releasing tension off of the arch, okay? So putting pressure, heel, rotate the knee to the outside, driving it out. Now he's gonna put it in a loaded position because he's putting all his weight into this. Next, you're gonna drive that foot forward, and you're gonna lift your heel up off the ground as he pushes forward. Now he's working on stretching that fascia or activating that fascia, which is now bringing this part closer towards the heel, and the arch is starting to develop more here, and that's gonna, as you hold it there in an isometric fashion, it's gonna start to decompress all of that inflammation, push the inflammation out of there, and decrease pain as he does this. So that is phase one of our exercises that we want to do to treat plantar fasciitis. Now there's different boots out there, there's different devices out there that can possibly help with keeping your foot at a right angle, trying to stretch it out. Remember, arch supports and stretching devices, they will help and they will only take it so far. You only will get so much relief with it. Eventually your body will adapt to that and you've got to make some more changes. Fixing it right from the start is probably the key thing that you've got to do. So stretching it out, rolling it out, massaging it out, doing some exercises that can help decrease the inflammation and get the inflammation gone forever requires movement and exercise. Yep. So make sure that you guys train your foot appropriately and it'll be able to go away forever if you just do it the right way. Let's see how it feels after you've worked on these exercises. Hopefully it gave you guys some relief. Hopefully these plantar fasciitis fighters will be able to help get you guys walking without any more pain.
Yes.
Send this video, share it to all of your friends, comment down below and let us know how we're doing for you and how we can help you out more. Thanks you guys. We'll see you guys on the next video.